Hello, welcome back to Chit Chat with Chels. I'm Chels.
And I'm Jesse.
Yay! We're here on another Tuesday night.
On another Tuesday night.
I can't seem to get my shit together and record these before the night before they're supposed to come out.
You know what? And that's fine. Honestly, I think you're worrying about it a little too much. We have a small following, and that's fine. You know, later on, we can get a little bit more production value, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
But we got a whole thing going on. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Also, the majority of people who are watching podcasts, listening to podcasts, are listening to them rather than watching them. I mean, you get every once in a while, you get somebody that would watch it, but I think as of right now, not a big deal.
I will say when I listen, I just listen to podcasts. I normally don't watch them.
So I don't know. I listen to, there's like 3 main podcasts I listen to. That's Joe Rogan, Theo Von, and then Kill Tony. Mm-hmm. Kill Tony I can listen to, but I'd
rather watch that one.
Yeah, there's more action to watch, and then you kind of feed into everything when you're watching it.
And like that's a comedy podcast too, so then like a lot of times they're like roasting them on how they look or whatever, and if you can't see it, like you're just kind of a little lost and you have to imagine it. But like I feel like podcasts like this, like I listen to like 2 Hot Takes and I listen to Smosh Reads Reddits, which is what got me into this. And I listen to them unless I'm watching like Facebook videos or something. That's how I found out about 2 Hot Takes. And that's the only time I ever watched them.
Right.
That's the only reason I know what she looks like.
And as far as like Joe Rogan and Theo Von go, like I really will just listen to Theo. And same with Joe, because I mean, like I listen to those guys primarily while I'm working. But every so often, like Joe will have something that's like interesting that like he's like, oh, you know, pull it up, Jamie, and like there's something that I want to see. Right. So I pull that up on my phone when I'm sitting out in the field or whatever just to see that, and then I'll go back to just listening to it. Right. Kill Tony, though, I will say, like, so we haven't watched that in a while, so there's like a bunch of episodes that I need to catch up on. I'm not going to go back on YouTube and watch them. I'll wait until I'm back in the fields and I'll listen to them.
Gotcha. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
I don't even remember what I did this weekend. You were there. What'd I do this weekend?
I don't know.
What the hell it is Tuesday and we don't know what we did this weekend?
I know what I did this weekend.
What'd you do?
Well, Saturday, I went with my sister and one of my friends to a used bookstore. And then I hung out with you at your dad's Saturday. And then Sunday, I ran all the errands, and then we hung up stuff in the hallway after 3 years of living in our house.
Oh, that's right. So, okay, yeah. So Saturday morning, I went over to my dad's and had coffee with my dad and my sister and hung out with them for the most part of the day till you showed up.
Yeah, and I went to a used bookstore. If anybody is in the Davenport area, it's called The Source Used Bookstore. The Source Bookstore is what it is. It's on 3rd Street in Davenport. Best used bookstore I've ever been in my life. Absolutely love that place. We'll definitely be going back. They got more of my money than I had planned on spending. But I got 2 complete series. I got altogether I got like 15 books. It was amazing. But yeah. And then it was just a good time. And then Sunday we finally hung up some stuff upstairs after living here for over 3 years.
Yeah, well, and the thing about it was that, like, we rearranged our living room.
Yeah, we hung the TV on the wall.
Yeah, so we put the 75 up on the wall. I added some shelves, so that took out most of the stuff that was hanging in the living room. So that had just been sitting on our porch. Then plus, for a bunch of wedding gifts that we got a bunch of stuff to hang up. Yeah. So, like, I got a picture of the Badlands when we were out there. We hung that up. It's out on a canvas. My sister,
he got me that for Christmas.
Yep. And then my sister, for our Christmas present, was the picture of you and I in the street during our reception.
Mm-hmm.
We got that, and then a couple other family pictures, a couple other, like, the Dows thing or whatever.
Yeah, one of them's one my aunt got us, and it says the Dow together, or Dow together we have it all. And then our wedding date. And then another one, Jesse's dad's girlfriend got us our wedding stars. So it's our stars the night that we got married. It's the stars that were in the sky, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
So we finally got all of that stuff hung up.
My absolute favorite one, though.
My other aunt.
Yeah, so it's like a watercolor painting of the front of our house, and it says Chelsea and Jesse, our first home, and it's got our animals sitting on the porch.
Yeah, it's
so
got
it's
both
like
the dogs and the cat on the front porch on the steps.
So it's like an AI watercolor image. It's like they basically took like a Google Maps photo of our house, turned it into a watercolor, and then added our animals sitting on the porch, which is
it's
the coolest
really,
thing.
really cool. It's hanging in our living room now because it was just really, really cool. But
yeah, definitely one of the most creative gifts I've ever seen.
well, and then we got the one that Wanda gave us. It looks like a watercolor of you proposing, and it has our names and established, or our last name, established 2024.
Did we hang that up?
Yeah, it's hanging in the living room on like the old
Oh yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Yeah, I finally took down the big clock that doesn't work.
That thing hadn't worked in so long.
I don't think it worked when we got it.
Probably not. Dollar store clock.
Yeah. I mean, it looked good, except for when you tried to tell the time.
Right.
Today our theme is, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
I mean, we don't have all night. I can't go into details.
Oh boy.
It's been a rough day, guys. So I'm going to do my best, my absolute best to stay upbeat and in a good headspace as much as I can. So the first story was from 5 days ago from r/Bridezillas.
Your favorite.
The title is Ridiculed for Not Attending a Destination Wedding. Backstory: sister had a nasty breakup with boyfriend, cheating, nasty behavior, got back together, and within 6 months sent out an email invitation for a destination wedding. This is how we were all told. We barely speak since she got back together with this man because it's so bad and she just doesn't have time for us anymore unless they need a last-minute babysitter. Received a nasty text message from the soon-to-be husband telling me I should be able to save $400 a month to attend, and if I can't, I should consider a career change. This was after I stated, unfortunately, being a single-parent income household, going to school and planning to buy a house shortly, it wasn't in the cards. I don't receive any government support, child support, and make pretty decent money. I am aware it's ridiculous and he is gross, but my gosh, people are so out of touch. I'm hoping it's the age as they are mid-20s and they don't own a home. Telling me he manages to save $1,100 a month to afford this trip like there wasn't a choice to have a local wedding or not. Life is so expensive in Canada right now. Just want to vent, LOL. Edit. It gets worse. My parents told him they couldn't attend because my mom is having health issues, she revealed to them. She's a super private person, so she doesn't share a lot on these matters, but she had surgery in 2024 on her colon and is having side effects. I guess they got berated too because it's an excuse, and my 74-year-old grandma cannot afford to go, and she got treated just as bad. I am so done, LOL.
So I have a couple of friends who did destination weddings, and they're generally a small event.
Yeah, because people can't afford it, health issues, just can't get the time off work. Like, there's a lot of things.
Well, yeah, and
like, you can't be that upset about it.
And, like, I don't know the time frame here, like when the wedding is going to happen, but $400 a month to save up for how long?
Right. And that's a lot of money, especially as a single parent.
Right.
You know, only one bringing money into the household. Like, that's a lot.
It really is.
Like, what is wrong with you?
That's ridiculous. I mean, and did you say, or did OP say, that it was an abusive relationship? Did I catch that, or am I making shit up?
He cheated, and nasty behavior was what they initially described him as. We barely speak since she got back together with this man because it was so bad, and she just doesn't have time for us anymore unless they need a last-minute babysitter. And then it was the sister's soon-to-be husband that texted her.
Okay. Well,
so I could see that.
It's not a very great relationship to begin with. And from what it sounds like, it's almost like, hey, let's invite as many people as we can and try and get as much money as we can.
I'd just wait for the next one because she's going to end up getting married again.
Sounds like it.
Top comment, tell them you can't afford $400 a month, but you don't want to, and you'll catch her next wedding instead. I didn't even read that.
That would stir the pot. For sure.
OP responded and said, ha ha ha, I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but that $400 feels better in my savings account. Plus, he's a cunt, and I told her it was a mistake when the wedding announcement came out. I love that. I'll catch you at the next one.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't sweat it that much, I don't think. Like, it's not... You can't let someone else tell you how to budget your life that they have no idea about.
Well, they don't know what all bills you have, and I mean, no. There is one that says, or suggests that if it's so easy for them to save the money, they can pay for your trip too.
Right.
I mean, if it's that important for you to be there.
That's true. That's just bogus. Like, there's no reason to treat someone like shit because they can't make it to your wedding. I have a friend that lives in Colorado, and we got a invitation.
We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it just wasn't in the cards.
We just couldn't.
Well, and the same thing happened with him coming to our wedding.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And guess what? No hard feelings.
No, if it works out that we can take a trip out there at some point, or they end up around here at some point, then we'll figure that out. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it says, and after OP makes all the non-refundable arrangements, then the couple will decide it's a child-free wedding, because obviously OP has a child.
Right.
You know, or like what happens if OP makes a non-refundable arrangement and then they decide to call it off with how topsy-turvy they are?
Yeah.
Like, that just seems a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, you can't be like that.
No.
So fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. All right. Here.
You want me to read one, huh?
Yeah. Well, the people seem to like it a lot.
The people.
The people have spoken.
I don't know if you could hear me, but I was just drinking.
He was gulping.
Made me a coffee at 7 o'clock at night.
It's fine.
Oh, 7:30. Shit. Okay. All right, so this one is from AITAH. Sorry, r/AITAH. 6 months ago. Titled, Am I the Asshole for Leaving a Wedding Reception Upon Arrival? So this happened last weekend. I, 36 female, was asked by my brother, 40 male, to do him a favor and go to a wedding with his recently divorced best friend, 42 male, Ted. Ted is just out of the marriage and hasn't started dating yet, but his sister was having her second wedding and he didn't want to be the only groomsman going alone. I've known Ted for years and he's always seemed like a decent enough dude when I bumped into him at my brother's events. Lacking plans last Saturday, being a pity date to a wedding for him seemed fine. I arrived on my own since he was part of the bridal party, and the ceremony in the outdoor garden space was lovely. Upon entering the indoor reception space, Ted's name was on the assigned seating chart at the head table. My name was not on the chart anywhere. Not as me, not as Ted's plus one. It was assigned seating, and every chair at the table had a name. I had not even spoken to Ted at this point, as he was with a bridal party before the wedding and taken off to do photos right after. One of the event staff saw me at the seating chart for way too long and asked if I needed help. I explained my issue and she called the wedding planner. After about 20 minutes of standing awkwardly in the lobby type area, she came and informed me Ted did not have a +1 for the wedding and they were at some kind of fire safety limit for the venue for the seated dinner and they could not accommodate me at the event. She was polite but very firm. I wanted to die of embarrassment, apologized, and texted Ted that the wedding planner said I had to leave because of occupancy limits and my not being on the guest list. Then I hopped in my car and headed home. About a half hour later, he texted me back saying his sister was being an asshole and had invited his ex as his +1 and put her on the seating chart. There was apparently drama and the ex left. He wanted me to come back and take her spot. It was still cocktail time, so dinner didn't even happen yet, and he had an empty seat next to him at the head table. I was already home, changed out of my dress, makeup washed off, and looking at takeout menus. I texted him back that I wasn't comfortable returning when I'd already been kicked out, and I was already home and not in an event-appropriate state anymore anyways. He got very demanding that I return because he was embarrassed by not having a date, and I'd promised to be there for him. He got my brother in on it to also demand that I come back, and he's been guilting me ever since for leaving his BFF in the lurch. This has turned into a whole Facebook thing where Ted's ex has been mocking him for his date running away, and people are blaming me for ditching him when my whole job was to be a pity date. Also that I should have stayed until I talked to Ted himself instead of texting him. I could have stayed in the parking lot until he replied, I suppose, but it didn't occur to me at the time. I also could have gone back, but really just didn't want to at that point. Am I the asshole?
No.
And why do you feel that way?
I feel that way because she was going as a favor. And then she got there and it was awkward AF because she didn't have a place to sit and she was told that she couldn't stay. If that was the case, I'd be in my car leaving. And hell yeah, I'd go home, I'd take the makeup off, I'd get in comfy clothes. At that point, do you really want to have to dress back up? That's going to take a whole nother half an hour. By the time you get back, dinner's most likely going to be almost over, if not over.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous. And then to go to her brother and be like, oh my God, like this happened. Like, that's not her fault. That's your sister's fault and your fault for not making sure that she had a spot.
Right. And also, like, this turned into a whole Facebook thing. Like,
be an adult. No wonder you're divorced.
Right. What? Hold on. Let me go back. He got very demanding that I return because he was embarrassed by not having a date. You're a guy at a wedding who's single.
Find a date.
Right.
Find a date.
Like,
there's got to be someone else single there. I'm sure we had some solo people at our wedding.
And even if there wasn't, have a good time anyway.
Right. You know all the people there.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about that.
No, fuck that.
But anyway, we've got an update on this one.
Okay.
To clarify a couple of things, I knew I wasn't going to see Ted until after the pictures. They got ready off-site and did the arrival at the ceremony thing in classic cars. I was pre-warned pictures would be immediately after. Ted even suggested I only show up at the reception and skip the ceremony because of this, but I thought that was rude. Plus, I like weddings. That's some of what got me into this mess in the first place. This is not to defend Ted, just to explain the logistics. Drag him for what he deserves, not what he agreed to in advance. Also, the Facebook drama only started on Friday, which is what prompted my post. From the Facebook drama, my brother realized he got a warped version of the story from Ted. He reached out last night and invited me to a nice dinner, his treat, later this week. He apologized sincerely. He also asked my permission to enter the Facebook fray on my behalf. Better him than me. We're good. That's all I care about here. The rest of the tea is from my brother. Ted's sister is the one who introduced Ted to his ex. The ex cheated and was caught by the affair partner's wife, who went full nuclear, causing even oblivious Ted to realize what was going on. Unsurprisingly, they'd been having trouble before this. Sis was attempting to get them back together as the ex never wanted a divorce. Glad I left before that scheme hit Ted in the face. Finally, there's no way Ted thought we were hooking up. When we first met, I was a freshman in high school, and he was my brother's big brother in his college fraternity. It would just be weird even though time has passed. We've never had any vibe of that sort. He knew I was only a seat filler, and he didn't even manage to get me a seat.
Exactly. He did not get her a seat, and then he wanted to play it off like it's her fault. Right. None of this is her fault. She went as a favor, and then she got embarrassed. And I would go home too. I am glad that her brother finally realized, like, hey, she's not in the wrong.
Right. I agree with that for sure. And that's a brotherly thing, you know? That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. He's like, yeah, no, I'm in the wrong. And then he decided to jump in on the Facebook drama to, like, iron things out and be like, hey, this is really what happened. Right.
So we got a comment here. It says, so why didn't Ted realize all this from the beginning? Why didn't he text you about it if you were there before the wedding? Seems like he should have easily realized his ex was there and questioned his sister. You're not the asshole, but your brother, Ted, and his sister sure sounds like that. OP responds and says, Ted has always been a bit oblivious to the world around him and beyond what he's actively engaged in at the moment. Think of the sort of guy who asks when dinner is at a barbecue when it's been being served for the last hour and he's 10 feet away from the grill and table full ready to eat food. He means well and was probably too busy playing with the kids to notice.
I mean, if he's that kind of guy, that makes sense. But
yeah,
like,
I
then
totally
also
understand that.
Understand where she's coming from too. Like, it doesn't seem like he's understanding why she left and why she didn't come back. Like, at that point, like, she's already dressed down. She's not coming back. I wouldn't either.
Right. I'll read this other comment. It's a long one. This is insane, not the asshole. Everyone is treating you like some kind of call girl who trash canned the night's contract, that's a fucking wild sentence. I like it. Fire back at anyone who complains, ideally publicly. I was kicked out of a wedding recently, a new experience for me that I will certainly treasure, as the person who asked me to be his date never cleared it with the people actually in charge of the logistics of the wedding. They were very clear and very firm. Rather than cause a scene at a stranger's wedding, I texted my date a heads up and called it a night. I ended up wasting a lot of time and money on my night off, which was really frustrating as I was only there as a favor to my brother. The person who wanted me to be his date apparently worked it out in the end, but unfortunately the request to turn around came much too late and I couldn't make it back. That really sucks for everyone. Did I mention that I spent my night off getting kicked out of a wedding? But it should have ended there. However, since then, some have continued to criticize me for a hot mess not of my taking my, oh, geez. However, since then, some have continued to criticize me for a hot mess not of my making, involving apparently divisive issues that are none of my business, including the people who asked me for the favor in the first place, essentially attempting to put me at the middle of some kind of drama I have no business being involved in. To those of you doing so, I say, well, unfortunately, your words are wasted on me, as this is not and has never been about me in any way, but I would be happy to put you all in a group chat with the people who are actually involved. Luckily, I have your names and numbers.
And that was from OP?
No, that was a comment from someone, and that was what...
what they would...
Yeah, they would have done, which I realized about 3/4 of the way through that.
Okay. I was like, it sounds like OP, but...
Yeah, that was a very confusing podcast moment, and I deeply apologize.
No, I don't think that she is an asshole. I think that the dude who invited her to the wedding is the asshole.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And also...
And maybe, and not for inviting her, but the way he acted afterwards.
Right. Side note here, you might hear Draco groaning because he is directly under my microphone and either very sleepy or very upset that he's squished between my stomach and the table, which is his own doing. And of course, I keep moving a little bit, and he's not very happy with me.
Um, this next one. Yeah, I can hear him over here.
Can you?
Yeah. This next one does have a trigger warning attached to it, mention of sexual assault. So if it's not something you can hear or don't want to hear, totally okay. Just skip over this story and move on to the next one. This one is from AITAH as well, 24 days ago. Am I the asshole for leaving a family dinner early because my mother-in-law told people I was raped?
Wow.
Yeah. I've never used a Reddit before. My situation happened a couple days ago, and I saw a TikTok on people reading from it and saw the comments and how they give advice, so I thought I'd try it out. Bear with me with knowing all of the terminology. I'm 26 and my hubby is 27. We've been together since we were 16 to 17. Early on, I loved his mother. She was the sweetest woman ever. She welcomed me in with open arms and always made good company. Of course, like everyone, she had her moments, like getting a little too mad at a cashier, not understanding her needs, or making a joke that made people a little uncomfortable. But everyone always brushed it off because she's just an amazing person. At the age of 23 to 24, me and my husband got engaged, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's like his mother's persona just flipped. Like there was a switch on the back of her head. When we told her we were engaged, she got pale and looked like we had told her someone died. Hubby got weirded out like this and called her out on it. She just said she had to go, and we didn't hear from her for about 3 weeks. We had lunch together often, as family means a lot to me and my husband. So when we got stood up for a lunch date, we worried. Maybe my husband came off a little harsh, so we went to check on her. Hubby's dad let us in, but had to talk to us first. He had begun to tell us that she was shaken up by the proposal, saying it wasn't how things were meant to be. Hearing this, my husband got mad at his mother, implying that she had always thought of their relationship as temporary. He went to her room with me and his father following behind. We had found her coddled up with the baby pictures of him crying. This was really disturbing for me, and I excused myself. I was extremely confused and hurt that my soon-to-be mother-in-law thought of our relationship like that. My father-in-law consoled me and said, for what it's worth, I believe there is a little string bonding you and my son together. Don't listen to her. This stuck with me and made me cry. I still remember it to this day. My mother-in-law proceeded to text me that I had taken away her baby boy, that no one could replace the love they share. Yes, I know a mother's love isn't replaceable, but in my opinion, a mother and a wife should not be in the same category to compete with each other. The love they show is completely different, and the love that's given to them is completely different too. She goes on to tell me that it was just meant to be him and her against the world. She had 3 other children. I didn't respond because it just weirds me out to think she always felt this way. Back when I was a little girl, a parent of a child I was friends with raped and tortured me. I used torture lightly. He burned my legs and privates and dug into his skin with the heated up head of a lighter. My hubby knew this very early on and often had to take a few hits because I had panic attacks, especially when we became intimate. He went out of his way to make sure I was loved and appreciated. He kissed all the parts of my body, including my scars. He was extremely protective in a way where he only worried when something happened for him to be. He took his hits from men for me and shouted at whoever he needed to. To say I'm in love with this man is an understatement. That's a good husband.
Agreed.
After what she went through, that's amazing. My mother-in-law knew what happened to me and cried when we told her. Fast forward a bit, some space and talks later, his mother tolerated me. The stings that came with this relationship change isn't describable. We were attending a family dinner where we planned on announcing a pregnancy. We had cooked words into the food saying who each person was going to be. Example, you're my auntie. Most caught on. My little niece caught on first, and then my mother-in-law. She became silent, which we thought was for the better, honestly. After we ate and we were just talking, she chimed in asking, is it really my son's baby? Before I could say, excuse me, my husband yelled it instead. My mother-in-law says that due to me letting another man touch me, how is she sure I wasn't weak enough to let it happen again? While my husband was arguing with her, I got up and left. My husband ran after me, cussing his mother out. My father-in-law left too. People soon started saying they had to go as well as it was getting late. It was 6:30. I later got a message from my mother-in-law getting mad at me for leaving and embarrassing her.
Wow.
I don't think I was wrong for what I did, but I am starting to think maybe I should have just stayed and left more appropriately. Am I the asshole?
Fuck no. You did absolutely everything right, and
No.
fuck your mother-in-law.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that.
Not only is any of that creepy, but that is...
It sounds like she wanted her son to be her husband.
It's, like I said, not only is it creepy, but that is a fucked up thing to say to anyone who's ever had something like that happen to them, especially to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
That is beyond fucked up.
That's horrible. Horrible. Her husband handled it amazingly. He was with her through everything.
Right.
Everything. It's not something that she chose. It's not something that she wanted. She survived it.
Exactly.
And her husband helped her survive it. And he helped her figure out how to have a loving and happy relationship despite what happened to her.
He did everything that he could in his power to heal her.
Yes, definitely. And this mom, like, I don't know. It sounds like, you remember when I mentioned enmeshment, like, in one of the previous episodes, it was like one of the first episodes we had.
So, yeah.
This is it. She raised him to be her perfect man. And then he goes to get married. She was okay when she thought it wasn't going to be anything.
Right.
But now that he's going to get married, now it's a problem and embarrass you. I'm sorry. You just put someone else's personal business out there that I'm sure they didn't want his entire family fucking knowing.
Absolutely.
Which is just fucked. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's crazy.
Like,
that's fucking crazy.
Yes. Absolutely fucking crazy.
I can't believe somebody would even do that.
Right. Like, who does this kind of shit? Like, who the fuck are you? All she's going to do is make it to where her son doesn't want to fucking be a part of her life.
Right. And, well, even her husband walked out.
Yeah. Her husband left. There is an edit. Because I can't keep up with all the lovely comments, me and our baby are no contact and she won't see her grandchild. But my husband is keeping her number muted because we think having some way of communication is better. I would never leave my husband if he does try to communicate. He's been with me through a world of hurt. This is a world of hurt for him. I'd never leave him. Just know that if you get an upvote on a comment, it was probably me. I can't thank you all enough. I don't really know where to post an update if there is one, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Maybe. Edit. I'm sure I'll have an update at some time. If someone could comment how to make it an update, that would be lovely because I have no idea how to use this app. Update is posted. I didn't know there was an update. Ooh. Let's look at a couple comments before we move on to the update, but not the asshole. Mother-in-law sounds like she needs help. What an awful thing to say. I would have left too. OP responded to that and said, glad I'm not the only one who would have. It's just so weird to think that she used to love me as much as her own child, and now it's like this.
There's obviously something strange going on mentally with the mother-in-law, I believe.
Yeah, the mother-in-law definitely needs some help.
Right.
I really would like to know how the father-in-law is handling all of this.
Yeah, that's...
Someone says, OP, you're a saint, just getting up and walking away. You have a heart of gold and lady balls of steel. Stay strong and fuck that evil bitch. She's enmeshed big time with your husband and needs major therapy. Even so, never let her steal your joy and never let her near your child. No contact for life. She gets nothing. She knows nothing. Like Jon Snow. Absolutely never, ever, not even if she's on fire. Not the asshole.
Even if she's on fire.
Even if she's on fire. Someone responded, a favorite saying, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Applicable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fucked up thing that happened to her. And then her mom shoving in her, or her mother-in-law shoving it in her face because why?
Right.
Like, why?
So when did this happen to her?
It doesn't say. I don't think. Let me take a gander. When I was a little girl, a parent of a child I was friends with.
Okay, so
this happened when she was little.
Right, well before they met.
Yeah. And it was a parent of a child, so an adult who took advantage.
Right.
And tortured this girl. Tortured her. She fucking tortured her.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
That is, yeah, it's a very fucked up situation. What I'm getting at here is that the mother-in-law played it off like she
Willingly.
yeah, she
Yeah.
willingly let that happen to her. And it also made it seem like she was unfaithful in this relationship,
Yeah.
which
Is that my
clearly
son's
is
baby?
not.
The
Yeah,
fuck?
that's
The fuck?
how old is she? 20 something.
Yeah. She's 26 and hubby is 27.
Okay, so yeah,
So
mid to upper 20s.
yeah. And they've been together since they were 16 and 17. So they've been
Wow.
together for 10 years.
Yeah. So, what in the fuck?
I don't know. Let's check out this update and see what it says. Because I did not know there was an update. I found this one a couple weeks ago. And it's just been sitting. So I completely forgot, honestly, what all it was about. That's why I kind of hesitated when I got to that part. Because I forgot about it.
Fair enough.
So I did not know that there was an update. This one was posted 20 days ago. Hi, first I want to thank everyone so much for all the amazing and sweet comments. Quick edit, this update was written over the course of a couple days. So for example, I said my husband kept her number, but then I said she was blocked. I'm so sorry for any confusion that this causes. If you've kept up with my edits or replies on my original post, you'll know that I was low contact with my mother-in-law. I've now gone full no contact. My hubby keeps her number just in case something happens. My baby will never meet her grandma unless a professional tells me that she won't act like that anymore. I know some of you think I should divorce my husband if he doesn't go full no contact. Respectfully, that's some advice I won't listen to. He has been through so much with me, and to leave because he has to make a hard decision isn't what I agreed with. We both think that keeping some way of communication is what's best. Doesn't mean we are going to talk to her at all. Please don't comment, that's stupid, or you're going to get a world of hurt. It's purely for emergency purposes. His parents are getting old. We've had to come to terms with needing to keep her number in case something happens. To clear this up too, my father-in-law never took her somewhere at the beginning because she had gotten better. Wait, hold on. To clear this up too, my father-in-law never took her somewhere at the beginning because she had gotten better, hence why we went to dinner with her in the first place. Now he is looking into people to help mother-in-law. So he thought she had gotten better. They went out to dinner. Didn't get better.
I see.
It was very confusing. Now he's looking to get help for mother-in-law.
I got it.
And I completely understand why he wouldn't just drop and divorce her. This is a real life, and he made a promise to her to never leave when things got rocky. He may be blind and overly hopeful, but he is a man of his word. Also, all the comments saying that you would have done to my mother-in-law made me and my husband laugh a lot, so thank you so much. Please know I saw all the comments, and I love them all. Now for the real update. So I had fully blocked my mother-in-law's number, and she didn't appreciate this at all. It started off with messages to my husband about it, then letters, home visits, and then a rock through our window. Whoa. That escalated.
Yeah, it did.
We have no evidence that it was her, but we have our suspicions. My father-in-law hired a professional to talk to my mother-in-law, and she didn't agree at first, then was willing when the therapist said she wouldn't see her son or his baby ever. When she said this to my father-in-law, proceeded to yell that she has no place in suggesting his wife might see her son and child again without consulting us. True. Mm-hmm. He especially got mad that I wasn't included in this threat of no contact. He fired her on the spot. We were on call with my father-in-law to hear how things went. We found someone else that understands our position and wants to help give answers to my mother-in-law's family. Her first session went okay. She isn't keen on the therapist idea, but I think she just remembers what was said to her a couple days ago. She's been calling my husband and leaving voicemails crying, saying I'm a witch for taking him away from her and that this isn't how it was supposed to go. We send every voicemail to her therapist, and she's given us some positive reasonings like bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, or schizophrenia. We've continued to get letters in the mail. They differ from crying like paragraphs to the way she plans on getting her son back. A lot were very violent towards me and our baby. My husband isn't standing for this anymore, so we're going to be moving soon, and my husband has fully blocked her. This has been really hard on my husband because he's having to grieve someone who's gone yet still alive. I'll update more if anything happens and how the move goes.
God damn.
Wow. And the mother-in-law is definitely like going through something. And if the therapist thinks that it's like a mental disorder, like obviously it is. And definitely no contact, because I wouldn't put it past her to like seriously hurt OP or the baby.
Well, it sounds like that's what it was growing towards.
Yeah. To get her son back when her son never went anywhere.
Right.
Like he was still her son. She pushed him away by doing what she did.
Well, I wonder, so, like, when this mother-in-law says, this isn't how it was supposed to be. Well, how the fuck was it supposed to be?
Well, right. And I mean, in the first part of the story, like not the update, but the first one, she said it was just supposed to be her and him.
Yeah, well,
like that's creepy. Like you want to marry your son?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I want some elaboration on that.
Because she has,
not that I'm going to get it.
Right, because she has 3 other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what about your husband?
Right. All of these things, it's like, has anyone asked her what? I'm sure someone has.
Yeah, like what is it supposed to be?
Yeah, because this is going to at least give some reasoning as to why she's being like this.
Top comment on the update: you should definitely set up security cameras and document everything. Mother-in-law is sounding unhinged, and if she doesn't get the help that she obviously needs, I'm afraid she may do something truly crazy. OP responded and said, I'll bring this up to my husband as soon as he gets home. Thank you. Another one responded, and if when you move, I would also recommend a P.O. box and an option for packages so that mail doesn't come to your house. Keep your new address safer and your family safe. Best of luck. OP responded, noted.
I agree with that.
Another post where a couple had to move due to an unhinged mother-in-law. One commenter suggested that they should buy a new house under an LLC so the monster-in-law couldn't track them down through their names. OP noted, I'll bring this up to my hubby and see what he knows about it. So it seems like she's just trying to take as many precautions as she can.
Which is smart at this point.
Because her mother-in-law is really going off the hinges. Like, yeah, could really cause her some bodily harm. And not just that, but mental harm, because she's going to be looking over her shoulder and worrying about what's going to happen to that baby every step of the way. However, I will say that when that kid is in school, like once it starts going to school, I would probably give a picture to like the school and be like, this person is not allowed near my child.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and honestly, maybe look into getting houses behind like a gated community or something, you know, make it a little bit easier too. And
definitely if you had a rock through window, get some fucking cameras.
Yeah, definitely cameras. Cameras would have been something that I would think I would have gotten right off the bat.
Right. I mean, nothing like I think the craziest thing that's ever happened here is a deer apparently running into our fucking chain link fence, and I'm gonna get
in
ring
the middle
cameras.
of town.
Yeah.
Someone said what you need is a restraining order. OP said this has definitely been brought up once or twice. They responded and said, I'd stop talking about it and start filing. Threatening violence to you or your child is pretty concrete. And if she's ramping up her behavior, including vandalizing your home, don't make the mistake of thinking she'll stop there.
Right.
Definitely the hard part that she's going to run into is she doesn't have proof that it was her mother-in-law that threw the rock through the window, but she does have proof of her threatening violence against her. And it's written proof, so she should be able to get a restraining order if she wants to.
Right.
Let me see. Someone asked about father-in-law. OP responded, honestly, my father-in-law is pretty cold towards her. He's just being an honest man and talking up the promise he made her to help her. He's having to grieve his wife too, so it's also been really hard, but I get your point of view.
Oh, fuck. That sucks.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in that place. Don't ever become that type of person. You fucking...
I mean, I can't help developing a mental illness. I'll definitely try not to, though.
I will duct tape you to a wall. You will be in a safe place forever.
Okay. That's creepy. Please tell people you're joking.
I'm joking.
It's fucked.
I don't have enough duct tape.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that made me seem like a giant asshole. I meant like currently I only have like a half a roll of duct tape in the garage, and it's like old dollar store shit, so it's not gonna hold even
Anyway,
Draco to
we're
the wall.
gonna move on.
Moving on then.
He's not as crazy as he sounds, guys, I swear.
Honey, will you take this dog?
No.
He
will be just fine. Just read the story.
You're grumpy today.
I'm trying not to be.
I can't believe this. Okay, so this one is from RAITAH from 3 months ago. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding because she wants to repurpose my wedding dress? Throwaway account because my family knows my main. I, 28 female, got married last year in a small but beautiful ceremony. My husband and I spent months planning every detail, and the highlight for me was my wedding dress. I saved up for years to buy this dress. It was my dream dress. It's got this beautiful lace, a lined gown with intricate beadwork, and a long train. I felt like a princess and still get emotional just thinking about it.
A-line.
A-line? Whatever. You think
Anyway.
I know stuff about fucking wedding dresses? Anywho, fast forward to now. My sister, 26 female, is engaged and her wedding is coming up in 6 months. She recently came over to our place to chat about wedding plans. At one point, she casually mentioned that she'd love to borrow my dress. She thinks it would be cute to repurpose it, maybe by shortening the skirt or even dyeing it a different color so it's unique to her. I was taken aback. I told her I wasn't comfortable with her altering my dress, especially since it has a lot of sentimental value to me. She got upset and said I was being selfish because she wanted to save money on her wedding. That is not...
No, I know.
Jesus. And families should support each other. When I stood my ground, she accused me of not caring about her big day and stormed out. My parents later called me and said I was breaking her heart by refusing to share. They said that since I'm married and done with the dress, it shouldn't be a big deal. But it is a big deal to me. I want to keep my dress as it is. They suggested I just let her have it her way to avoid family drama. Sorry, I was trying to make sure that I read that right. But honestly, I feel like it's my dress and my decision. Now my sister says she won't feel comfortable with me at her wedding unless I show my support by letting her use the dress. I don't want to miss her wedding, but I also don't want to give in to something I'm not comfortable with. Am I the asshole for refusing to let her repurpose my wedding dress and considering not attending the wedding?
Absolutely not.
I fucking agree.
I would say no. My dress, I spent more money than I had planned on, and it is an amazing dress. Like, I am still trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Like, I don't know if I want to like put it in a shadow box because some people do that and hang it up. I don't know if I want to shorten it and dye it so I can wear it some other time. Like, I don't know what I want to do with it, but I don't think I would just give it, even if it was my sister, I don't think I would just give her my dress to do whatever she wanted with it.
No, and it's like...
It's a sentimental thing.
Right. So, me, being a guy, not giving a flying fuck about wedding dresses, I know that when a woman gets married, she picks out her dress, and it is her dress.
Right.
And there's nothing that anybody can say about that.
No.
There was, like, I had my, there's a word here that I'm thinking of that I can't fucking think of. I had my reservations about what, like, I wanted your dress to be, but that's not my decision.
Right. Was it close?
I loved your dress.
Oh,
you looked
cool.
perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too.
But I mean, there's like certain things that I don't like,
Right.
like the fucking 6 mile train. I think that's ridiculous. The fucking huge veil that's like,
oh, the cathedral veils.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wanted one so
dude,
bad.
I went to our fucking wedding in jeans.
Well, that's what you wanted.
Well, thank you for letting me do that, for one. But, like, I'm not I'm going to dress up and be super duper fancy. I'm not a fancy dude.
No, but you understand the whole dynamic with the dress.
Right.
Like, the dress is important, and I understand her wanting to save money. However, you can get on Facebook Marketplace. There's dresses all over Facebook Marketplace for a
There really
lot
is.
lower amount than what you would buy at the store. Honestly, Goodwills, Salvation Armies, all of those things. Every time I go into places like that, they have wedding dresses.
Right.
Go look around. You can find them for cheaper. Your sister saved for years.
And that's
for
the
this
thing,
dress.
too. You want to repurpose it and dye it and make it your own?
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Why wouldn't you go to a fucking Goodwill or something and spend $20 on a dress that you can fucking do whatever
and you can
you
have
want
it altered, and you can have it shortened, or you can have it dyed, or you can do whatever you want with it, and it's not going to hurt your sister.
And let me just touch on this. She got upset and said I was being selfish because she wanted to save money on her wedding. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not OP being selfish. That's you being selfish, you fucking dumb fuck.
If you want to save money on your wedding, find other ways to save it and get the dress you want, or find ways to save money on the dress. You can find cheaper dresses. People do it all the time. Amazon has a shit ton of dresses. Shein has a shit ton of dresses. Wedding dresses at that.
OP's sister is absolutely in the fucking wrong for ever even thinking that she's being selfish. Why would... It's your fucking sister. Right. You don't know that she loves this dress? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's obvious that she loves this dress.
Right.
Obvious.
Good Lord. Oh, I got fired up on that.
I'm surprised. It was about a fucking dress.
Well, it's just...
I feel like it's the way that people's minds think, too.
Right.
Like, why do you think that way?
And somebody, like, clearly needs to fucking tell this chick. Like, I'm never going to meet this chick.
I'm sorry.
But
the parents? Oh, you should just do it. You should just do it. No, fuck you.
Right. Hey, Mom, do you have your fucking wedding dress?
Why don't you guys pay for a wedding dress for her then?
Right.
Make it easy. There you go.
It's just the thing. Like, oh, God damn it. I'm not going to fucking sit here and keep getting fired up about it. I told you how I feel. Some comments here. Not the asshole. You don't just get to decide to claim somebody else's sentimental property, let alone decide to hack it up and change colors. I would refuse to go under any circumstances. Also, this is another comment. Also, no one is allowed to dictate what is or isn't a big deal to you. That pisses me off so much. I fucking... Are you logged in on this? You are. Yeah. I just upvoted that comment.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I completely agree with that. It's the same as nobody can tell you how much you hurt or how much they hurt you. You know, you can't tell me you didn't hurt me because you didn't mean it to be hurtful. Right. You still hurt me. It's the same thing.
You didn't feel it.
Right.
You didn't feel it how I felt it.
Yeah. Like, no, it's the same thing. Like, you can't tell someone how to fucking feel. They're going to feel how they feel. It's a sentimental thing.
I like this comment, too. Also, when did sharing a wedding dress become a thing? The only person that I would allow to use my wedding dress is my daughter, if she even wanted to wear it. Regardless, it doesn't matter if it's something big or small. No one gets to tell you what to do with your stuff. What's next? You bought a new car, but already have one, so give me one?
Right.
Like,
right. And the thing is, some wedding dresses are worth the same amount as a fucking car.
Right.
I could have gotten a junker car for the price I paid for my fucking dress.
Of reservations, that was one of mine for your dress. I didn't want you to go, okay, yes, we're in a little bit of debt from the wedding.
Well, yeah, but that's life.
But we're in a little bit of debt.
Yeah, it's not like we didn't spend like $20,000 or anything like that.
I absolutely did not want that to happen. Yeah. And if it was going to happen, it was not going to fucking be on me.
Thanks.
Well, I'm just saying, and I'm pretty sure I made that fairly clear to you.
Yeah, well, and it was obvious that I did everything I could to get things as cheap as I could.
Yeah,
I did. But there was a couple things that we weren't going to skip on. Skimp, not skip. And my dress is one of them.
That was the biggest thing. I wanted you to have the dress that you wanted.
Yeah.
Within reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some dresses there that were like $3,000 that were amazing. Fuck that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck that.
And I mean, this is the other side of me speaking, but if you spent $3,000 on a fucking wedding dress,
You'd never know about it.
Do you know how many fucking boats you can buy with $3,000? Jesus.
No.
Meanwhile, I bought a fish finder that cost $3,000. But
Yeah,
hey,
so don't even start.
it fucking
Anyway.
really wasn't my money.
Anyway.
But anyways, yeah, I just
No. Fuck that.
the wedding thing for me, it's, I don't know. I don't get people who spend fucking tens of thousands of dollars on weddings. I think that's fucking ridiculous. It's I get having a big party.
I think if you have the money, go for it.
Well, sure. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain this shit out because everybody's different. Everybody has, you know, like rings. Like, God damn it, dude. I'm not going to spend fucking $10,000 on a fucking wedding ring.
Nobody would have asked you to.
Dude, I paid $12,000 for my truck.
Right?
I'm not spending 10 fucking grand on a ring, dude. My truck isn't.
Your truck,
I can drive my truck through mud. I can get from here to fucking wherever I want to go in that truck, and I don't have to worry about it. She runs good. She's nice. She's pretty. She's black.
Sound like a redneck.
Listen here.
But okay. Anyway.
I'm sick of it, goddammit.
That last comment that you read, when they said, when did sharing a wedding dress become a thing? I will say that it has definitely become a thing more recently.
I'll agree with that. I've heard more about that.
Sorry, your smoke went right in my freaking face.
I'm sorry, the smoke is doing crazy shit. I should stop smoking.
Yeah, you should. However, it has always been, you know, for most people that the mother or a mother will like offer it to her daughter.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing. However, for like people like me who don't have children, then I'm going to look at either repurposing it or giving it to somebody else. I'll probably repurpose it because I love my fucking dress.
Sell it.
Love my dress.
Sell it.
No, because I won't get near what I paid for it. Someone did comment. I now have the laptop, guys. But someone did comment and said, let's just be clear on this. Whether OP holds sentimental value to the wedding dress or is using it to stuff pillows shouldn't matter here. You don't get to be upset because someone isn't giving you something for free just because you demanded it.
Wholeheartedly.
And then like her sister being like, oh, now I'm not going to feel comfortable with having you at my wedding.
That's fucked up.
All right, then fine. I won't be at your wedding.
Right.
I won't be at your wedding. That's it. End of discussion.
Way to be fucking petty.
Okay. So we have two. You get to choose. 1, am I the asshole for gossiping with my mom about my brother's fiance is potentially lying about giving birth?
I wish people would shorten up their fucking titles.
2, thinking about not attending my brother's wedding because of his fiance's prank on my husband.
Oh, no, whichever one you want to read.
No, that's not how this works.
Why you gotta make me make decisions?
Because.
All I know is I want pizza.
Well, you will get pizza once we are done.
Pizza. Let's do the prank one.
The prank one?
Yeah.
You chose the long one. All right.
That just means I gotta read a short one.
No, that just means that this is the last one.
Oh, what the fuck? I thought we were doing both.
No.
Come on, man. We're at an
If you
hour.
want to.
We'll see how long this one goes.
Okay. This one, the initial post was 3 months ago. Pre-wedding update. Nope. Wrong one.
Alrighty then. Good job.
Okay. Shut up. Thinking about not attending my brother's wedding because of his fiance's prank on my husband. I am 25 female. My husband is 30 male. My brother 32 male and his fiance 31 female. recently came to visit us in our city. My partner and I are new homeowners, and they are staying with us for the first time. My brother's fiance loves Halloween. She is also a Disney adult and has a childlike side to her, which comes out sometimes. She's just super absorbed when it comes to her interests. Anyway, I'm just sharing this for context because my perspective is that she often gets carried away, and I genuinely feel what I am going to describe was the result of one of those moments where she just took it too far and suffered some negative consequences. She is, however, taking it as a very personal attack, so we disagree, and the disagreement resulted in my husband cutting their visit short, aka they were asked to leave. 31 female has made comments more than a few times now since meeting him that my husband gives off a dark vibe. She is always comparing him to characters from various books she reads. It's not necessarily criticism. She always explains that they're compliments. Well, I'm not sure anymore. Her reasons for these comparisons are based on his looks, the general vibe he gives off, and his tattoos. He only has one, but it's on his hand. During this recent visit, she mentioned she would love to see someone like him get scared because she can't imagine him getting startled or letting out a scream. Scaring him became her goal during her stay with us. None of us knew about it, not even my brother. The incident causing all the trouble is that she tried to jump scare my husband in the garage. It was dark, and she ambushed him in the garage while wearing a full outfit and mask when he was returning from a run. Well, he didn't let out the scream like she wanted. He instinctively reached by, shoving her against the wall. She hit her head and was quite shaken up. Luckily, he realized very quickly by the sound she made that it likely wasn't an intruder. He switched the lights on and pulled her mask off. He told me he was very confused in the moment. Why would she attack him? My husband helped her inside, apologized, made her tea, and then called me. I was out with my brother. When we got home, I asked 31 female if she was okay, and I said her prank was stupid to do so because she could have gotten seriously hurt. I don't know if it was what I said that bothered her, if she was just waiting for her partner to come home, but she launched into crying about how my husband used an excessive amount of force, knowing it was most likely her just doing a harmless prank. In a nutshell, my husband asked her straightforwardly, "Are you implying I intentionally assaulted you?" She hesitated but chose to say yes, and my husband responded to that with, "Get out of my house." I tried to smooth it out, but my husband was adamant that that's what she genuinely believes. She's not welcome to stay. 31 female chose to stick with her accusations. I decided to side with my husband. But my brother is angry with me. He thinks I should have tried to do damage control and let them stay by convincing my husband to lean more into apologizing and placating his fiance, who is just recovering from the situation. He thinks this whole thing would have blown over if I'd helped my husband fold. I find this unfair. My brother was counting on me to handle this, yet he didn't speak up during this conversation or try to talk sense into his fiance. My husband remained calm the entire time, but he obviously felt insulted by her remarks, and I think that's valid. Why should I have taken my brother's fiance's side over my own husband, especially when I feel like she was wrong for doing all that? Then turning around and accusing my husband of wanting to hurt her. My brother says I was short-sighted and should think of their upcoming wedding, but I think he is the one who needs to get his fiance to apologize to my husband.
Classic case of fuck around and find out.
You don't know how someone's going to react in that situation.
Right.
You had a mask on, a full Halloween outfit on. Like, I would probably, she would have gotten hit in the face.
Right.
If that was me. And all he did was shove her against the wall. Luckily, she said something and made a noise.
Right.
And he realized it wasn't an intruder.
There are plenty of people who, in jump scares, will throw a punch.
Uh-huh.
Or, what if this guy had a concealed weapons permit or something?
Right.
And just pulled out a gun and shot. Like, you can't do that to people. Yeah, okay. Let me rephrase that. You can do that to people who you know how they're going to react.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I, the one time that I scared the shit out of you, I was just standing on top of the stairs.
Oh, my God, and I started crying.
Yeah. I've
that was
never,
so scary.
I've never seen you react like that before.
That was
so
scary.
I've, raw scared you before. But,
that I just scream or I, hit.
Right. But that was, I actually terrified you. And not knowing how someone's going to react is that's a dangerous fucking game to play.
Mm-hmm.
And you fucked around and you found out. So if he wanted to intentionally hurt you, if he was going to shove you up against a wall and then he like kept moving, if he wanted to intentionally hurt you, he could have shoved you up against the wall and started fucking you up.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, punches, elbows, all the shit, you know? That's a fight or flight situation.
Oh, yeah. No.
You don't know.
No, you don't know how someone's going to react to that.
Right.
There is a couple edits, just that she wanted to clarify that when she meant like smoothing things out, she was not taking her husband's side. She was trying to get everybody to kind of like calm down. And once everybody's calmed down, then have a conversation about it. And then I mentioned in a comment that I didn't get an opportunity to ask that night if she bought an outfit specifically for this prank or if it was my brother's Halloween costume. They go to adult Halloween parties, and they were attending one this weekend 2 hours from where we live. It was part of my brother's costume, a mask, like a golden masquerade one, but more covering. It reminded me of the gold jeweled animal mask from the Squid Games, or something you'd wear at a Rothschild party in the 70s. And she had on a long robe / cloak with a hood.
So she was completely concealed.
Covered. There was no way of knowing it was her. It wasn't like you could have seen by her hair or anything like that. Like, she was completely covered. This is on Best of Redditor updates. So a couple of like the highlighted comments are, if she hadn't hidden in the dark garage in a hooded costume, none of this would have happened. There's no way he would have known in the moment that it was her, and I believe anyone would have a similar reaction. Frankly, she's lucky she was not hurt more than she was. There's a direct cause effect here, yet she's not accepting responsibility. I think her behavior falls into the play stupid games category. Your husband doesn't have anything to apologize for, and it's offensive for them to try obfuscate her responsibility. Obfuscate? That can't be what that says.
Obfuscate.
Obfuscate?
Here, hold on. We're going to Google it.
I'm just going to keep having half-ass pronouncing it, apparently. Obfuscate?
Render obscure, unclear, or unintelligible.
Okay. Next highlighted comment. Exactly this. It's one thing to come out of a closet into a well-lighted room and completely another to jump someone in a dark garage. She's lucky he didn't break her nose or her jaw.
Yep.
Next one. I live in Oklahoma. She's lucky she didn't get shot.
Yep.
Texas here, getting shot is a real possibility. That's beyond stupid on her part. I can guarantee you that I will not be attacked again. Not funny.
Right.
Not the asshole. Your future sister-in-law is deranged. She attacked someone coming into his own house. He reacted accordingly. How would he know it was her? She fucked around and found out. Your brother should have told her it's her own fault. Be prepared for more dramatics once they are married, and go low contact now. Nothing will ever be her fault. Edited to add, call your family now and tell them what happened before they spin it and blame your husband for reacting appropriately. Update, 19 days after the initial post. I got a lot of messages requesting an update. I've never made one before, so I hope I am doing this correctly. To recap my previous post, I'm not going to read. We just read it. My husband responded to her jump scare by instinctively shoving her against the wall. Kicked them both out. Okay. I tried to talk to my brother multiple times after the incident, but each attempt ended in silence because I refused to give in to his demands. He wanted my husband and me to apologize to his fiancée, starting with me downplaying the whole situation so she wouldn't feel bad about her prank. I hesitated to send him the Reddit post I'd made initially. I thought it might work against us to make things worse, but his total inability to reason with me or see the situation for what it was became beyond frustrated. Since I couldn't physically deliver a cold hard slap to his face for asking me to be complacent and allowing my husband to be falsely accused of assault, I figured the next best thing would be for him to read all of your comments. Following the advice I got here, I tried to get ahead of the situation by informing my parents. My dad, a reasonable and practical man, immediately sided with my husband. His comments were similar to what a lot of people here had said, focusing on how dangerous and reckless the prank was and the ramifications of being falsely accused of assault. My mom, who unfortunately has always favored my brother, suggested we at least hear her out, referring to my brother's fiance. As livid as I was about her reaction, I wasn't surprised by it. My dad did try to shut down her skepticism, but she remained on my brother's side for a few days until I showed them footage from my brother's Tesla, which he had tried to delete. The Sentry thing, sorry if I'm using the terminology incorrectly, I'm not a Tesla owner, recorded part of the interaction in the garage. Not the jump scare itself, but the aftermath, which was more crucial. My husband's account was confirmed. He used a measurable amount of force to immobilize her and was prepared to escalate if necessary, which is beyond generous for someone to do in a situation like this and definitely not owed. Many of you speculated that she might have a fixation or even a crush on my husband, and I'm starting to reconsider some past interactions with that in mind. I also misunderstood that dark books she expressed and enjoyed and compared my fiance to. I have a feeling she's talking about like the books that I like to read.
Oh.
Which would have a very dark sexual component to them.
Yep.
So if she's looking at OP's husband like that, like that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I learned from comments that they are actually a subtype of the romance genre. I didn't know she was comparing him to characters in romance novels because one of the characters I recall her comparing my husband to was from a book about dragons. Yes. I genuinely wish I still remembered the names of various characters she'd mentioned over the months so I could satisfy my own curiosity, but my brain glossed over the names during conversation. We have a group chat for the wedding, which includes my brother, my parents, my brother's fiance, and her parents. In the chat, I addressed the incident, but didn't share the Tesla footage. Only mentioned that it exists. Her parents didn't respond in the chat, though I know they saw the messages. Later, her mom called mine. Apparently, they had no idea about the prank. It's hard to say whether they believed me or if they've taken their daughter's side after speaking with her. My brother's fiance and my brother have both extended apologies to me and my husband and have requested our presence at their upcoming wedding. My parents, trying to keep the peace, have encouraged us to go, saying it's an honorable thing to do. So, for the sake of family formality, we've decided to attend. However, my husband has made it clear that we'll be there out of obligation. We will be keeping a distance from them going forward. We hadn't explicitly stated it, but there will be no future invitations to our home, not even for the holiday dinner we had planned before all of this happened. My husband is going to minimize all future interactions with my brother's fiance. I don't think we'll ever trust her again.
That's fair.
Yes. I'll try to spend some one-on-one time with my brother to gauge where we stand. Our relationship feels strained, and this incident has made me realize that I lost him to her long before this happened, something I hadn't fully recognized until now. Thanks to everyone for sharing your opinions. A reporter from a news outlet reached out to me, and I remember requesting that if anyone uses my story, I would like them to pass on the following statement. I hope that if you share my story, you can help highlight the dangers of ambush-style pranks. These type of pranks create a threatening environment and put everyone involved at risk of serious harm or injury. They are stupid and dangerous. No one should have to feel threatened or be put in a position where their safety is compromised for the sake of a prank. If that's the setup, then it's not a prank. Actions like these will always have consequences. Some of these may be irreparable, and no prank is worth the risk of someone getting hurt.
Yep. There are all these fucking guys you see on YouTube, like, going up. There's one guy in particular that it pops up on my feed sometimes. Like, he'll go out to, like, Compton or something, and he's, like, just randomly throwing up gang signs. You're going to do that to the wrong fucking dude one time, and he's not even going to say anything. He's just going to pull his gun and shoot you and keep fucking walking.
Yeah, you can't go to places like that and do shit like that.
Right. Fuck around and find out. Now, as far as this prank goes, if you wanted to try and see this guy's reaction, here's a good idea. Okay, so OP and the brother were out doing something.
Mm-hmm.
The husband was out on a run.
Yep, she was at the house by herself.
Yeah, it was the fiance at home by herself. So why wouldn't you just like
jump scare in the house in a lighted area without a mask and a hood on? Right. I mean, even that you could still accidentally get hurt, but you're less likely of a chance than in a dark garage with a hood and a mask.
Right. Exactly. That's like
What is wrong with you? Like, come
pretty,
on.
It's pretty simple, you know? Like, if you were to do that inside the house without a mask, blah, 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 and you kept your distance, like, okay, like, he's going to come in through this door, so if I hide behind this fucking wall and, like, okay, he's 10 feet from me, I'm going to jump out and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, oh, shit, you know? Maybe that's not the reaction you wanted to get, but I guarantee you getting slammed against a fucking garage wall is not what you wanted.
No, that would fucking hurt. Couple comments on this one. Still not the asshole, and your sister-in-law is still lucky that all she got was a shove against the wall. Doing dumb shit tends to get people killed more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Another comment. That's good. I would still be very careful with your whole family. Your husband was attacked, and it seems they are all very happy to keep it hush-hush. I know you are trying your best, and I applaud you for it, but please never forget they are willing to appease that psycho no matter the consequences to your husband.
Yeah. I think, and maybe this lady's not really fucking crazy. Maybe she just made a stupid...
I think she made a stupid mistake, and she didn't know how to own up to it, honestly. And then she accused him of assault, and that is where she really fucked up.
Yeah, that's where the line should be drawn.
He didn't try to assault you. Like, he wouldn't have done that in any other circumstances.
Right. Well, and I'm assuming here, but the guy was out for a run. Mm-hmm. The fucking dude's fit.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's...
Well, if she's comparing him to the guys in these stories, yeah. He's fit.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, like, if that is what she's comparing him to.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah. So, he's a fit dude. So, generally speaking, fit dudes can probably pretty easily throw around most women. Mm-hmm. You know? So, she could have just got fucking slammed on the concrete, too.
Yeah. Final update, 2 months later. I still get the odd message or notification on this account, which is surprising to me. I always feel bad because I can't feed the interest with a truly juicy update. My brother and his partner got married. She is pregnant and we are no contact. This is the last one from me, guys. I did read or try to read some of the books I got recommended that would show me what my husband is being compared to. I mostly did this for entertainment purposes. I think some fans of these books will get mad, but I'll just be honest. These books are not for me. I got up to book 3 in ACOTAR. I do want to read that series. Although my skimming increased with each book, I made it through a little bit of the 4th one, and that's when my brain just couldn't take anymore. I think my husband was supposed to be Rysand. After reading 3.5 books, I don't quite see it. I found both Rysand and Fire incredibly annoying as the books went on. I just did not finish them. They're not my people. If I had to pick, Asriel seems a little more like my husband, maybe based on just loose vibes that I got. I also read Fourth Wing, just the one book, and I won't be reading the rest of the series. I want to read that series too. I think my husband was supposed to be Xaden. He's actually more of a Liam personality-wise. These were the 2 main books. Anyway, the actual update, just for the book peoples. I think my sister read some of those books. My brother and his fiance got married. She was pregnant. My mom had already suspected apparently, but the pregnancy was announced during the wedding. The pregnancy has made my parents kind of soften. My mom is distracted about becoming a grandma. It hasn't changed how I feel. I still think it's a mistake that he's marrying her and I'm worried about him, but I also don't have any intense feelings. It's his life. Excuse me.
Ew.
My husband didn't have to attend the wedding. We all said he could skip it if he didn't want to accompany me. Nothing dramatic happened at the wedding. We did keep at a bit of a distance, so maybe we missed any drama if there was some. I did learn something disturbing from someone who had spent more time with my brother's wife. She had apparently made some disgusting comments about my husband in the past. She had said he looks like a Leeson comic character. It feels nasty to direct quote her, so I will just paraphrase. She basically implied he is so essayable or would be doing the essay or something. I don't think if any of these has to do with the context of these types of comics. This was all apparently said in a WhatsApp chat, but no proof of the conversation because the person who told me said she got a new phone and didn't back up her WhatsApp. I don't have any reason to believe she would make this up though. I didn't confront my brother's wife about this comment because it was said a long time ago and it just doesn't seem worth bringing up. She just continued our no contact. Like I said, pretty boring update, but it's truly my final one now that the wedding is over.
Yikes.
Yeah, it sounds like she has some kind of like
dark crush.
Yeah, on OP's husband, and I kind of wonder if like she was wanting him to like do something to her when she like scared him like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of where I was going.
Like if you're trying to live in this fantasy, however, he did not react like the guys in the books and fantasy and stuff do. Like he didn't just want to ravish her. It's not a thing. Couple comments. At this point, I would go no contact. The parents are useless. The husband's reputation is being tainted, and there's nothing OP and the family can do except just accept that this is how it is. Loser, if you'd ask me. There would be potentially more heinous incidents in the future if the husband keeps attending OP's family gatherings where the sister-in-law would be there. And I'm afraid it will affect OP's marriage sooner or later if no contact at this point. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer prevent than repair. There are some things in life you cannot repair.
Agreed.
I do totally agree with that. Wow, that's crazy. Definitely keep your distance from sister-in-law and maybe put up some more cameras. I pity your brother because he is in for a rough ride with the person he chose to marry and procreate with. But then again, he doubles down and backed her outrageous claims. Hopefully you can move on without any more issues with the crazy sister-in-law. I would be weary of the family dinners or holidays without recording them to protect yourself. Honestly, I wouldn't attend if they were attending. Not until they were like, yeah, you're right. We were wrong.
Yeah, there's some fuckery.
Like, there's something seriously wrong with her. Like, I would look at her and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
Would you like to read the last one? It's not super long.
Up to you.
We can.
Okay.
And it does have, this is what they deem them, if you want to tell them afterwards.
Okay.
Just so you see what.
Alrighty. Well, let's try and fly through this one because I'm hungry and it's 8:45.
Yes.
All right. This one is from Am I the Asshole from 14 days ago. So, am I the asshole for gossiping with my mom about my brother's fiance potentially lying about giving birth? I, 22 female, have an older brother, 32 male, who has been with his fiance for 30. I'm going to restart this because it's using names and I didn't read them. I, 22 female, have an older brother, John, 32 male, who has been with his fiance, Jane, 30 female, for 4 years. They have a 4-month-old baby. Jane found out she was pregnant at 5.5 weeks and immediately called my mom to tell her. Mom was confused but still very excited. Jane said she was going to tell John when he got back from his work trip. A few hours later, she called again, sobbing, saying she has insatiable cravings. Mom made a joke like, isn't it a bit early for cravings? And Jane went off on her. She started yelling about how this was her pregnancy and no one else's. It was an odd reaction. She also apologized for her outburst by blaming it on hormones. When my brother returned from his trip, him and Jane left to stay at her mother's, and we didn't see her until after the baby was born. John said this was because Jane was afraid of losing the pregnancy and wanted to be with her mom, and we needed to respect boundaries. Whenever someone would ask about Jane or the baby, they would shut it down with vague answers like every pregnancy is different or she's carrying small, which isn't unusual. They barely shared anything about the pregnancy, no ultrasound pictures, no baby shower, and Jane didn't want anyone around during the delivery. I also discovered that every craving she listed came from one article about pregnancy cravings. She even listed multiple items in the same order as the article. When the baby was born, we were finally allowed to see Jane and John, and baby, of course. It was very bittersweet, as we all wished we could have been there for Jane to help out, but Jane and John both reassured us that we did help out by staying away during the pregnancy. The weirdest part, though, is how Jane describes the birth. She claims she had an epidural via IV drip into her hand, edited because I didn't elaborate, which is not how those are administered. When I asked clarifying questions, thinking that she had gotten confused, which is understandable. She shut down and refused to answer, like how she would during the pregnancy. She said the baby has had latching issues because he was born with no umbilical cord stump. This can technically happen, but it's a rare and fatal medical condition that their baby does not have. The final straw was when she told us that the final straw was when she told us that the baby basically fell out of her within an hour of going into labor, despite my brother telling us how hard the birth was and even stating that was why they weren't going to try for any more kids. Mom is on the same side as me and has been noticing the inconsistencies and inaccuracies but doesn't know how to bring it up, and their reactions don't help. A few days ago, my brother texted Mom saying her doubt of Jane is disrespectful and they both want full apologies from the both of us for bullying Jane about her pregnancy and labor. I haven't made any outright accusations about it, nor have I said any of this to Jane. I've only asked questions when she brings up the birth and pregnancy. Am I the asshole for having doubts?
I don't think you're the asshole for having doubts. However, I think you're the asshole for the way you've brought them up. The way that it sounds is maybe she's not able to have kids. Maybe they had a surrogate. Maybe they adopted and didn't want everybody to know.
Right.
Maybe they just wanted everybody, maybe they thought that they would treat the child differently, so they wanted everybody to think that she was pregnant and having the baby naturally. Maybe she had the baby naturally and maybe she had to be knocked out for some reason and doesn't remember it.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things that could be, but it's her story. It's her story to tell if she wanted to tell.
Exactly. So she was deemed the asshole. We're going to read the top comment here. Oh, that's a fucking mod comment. Hold on.
Yeah, there's always one.
Okay. Top comment. The reality is that nothing much adds up, but there's one reality you can buy into. Your brother and his fiance have a baby that is theirs. You can remain out of their lives forever or let your obsession go and enjoy your niece or nephew. Your choice, but you would be an asshole if you choose option one.
I agree. Honestly, let it lie. Apologize and move the fuck on. Enjoy having this little baby in your family.
Right. There's a small comment thread here. It just kind of opinions, it seems. Unless they did something crazy like steal someone else's baby. I realize this is extremely unlikely and most likely not the case, but it has happened. Which is just kind of a fucking...
I mean, yeah, they'd have to play the long game because they...
Yeah, dude. A very, very long game.
Because they said that she found out when she was 5.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So just over a month.
Right.
Like...
So it seems maybe they used a surrogate and are ashamed of it.
Yep.
Response to that, egg donor with father's sperm and gestational carrier maybe. And she has all sorts of feelings about not being able to be pregnant and have a bio child that she doesn't want to share. That's so personal, even as a possibility. OP needs to butt out. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and the thing is some people are willing to share their stories when it comes to that, when it comes to adoption or surrogacy or whatever needs to happen, and some people aren't.
Right.
You know, your whole life as a girl, you're told that you should be able to have a baby. That is your life. Your life, in the end, is the best thing ever is to be a mother. And then when you find out you can't, it's like your whole body has just completely betrayed you. Because the one thing you're supposed to be able to do, you can't do. And trying to explain that to somebody who has never been through that, you just get very like pity looks and you don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Like it, and I speak from personal experiences. Like it sucks. So it's just easier to be like, no, we don't want them. Or in this case, her being like, instead of, oh, we're going to use a surrogate or whatever, I'm pregnant, you know?
Yeah.
And then going from there.
And if that is the case, I think that maybe Jane could have like done a little bit better job about pretending about shit.
Yeah. Maybe she should have done a little bit more research
Yeah.
on the whole pregnancy thing and not
Right.
come up with some kind of...
Some huge bullshit story.
I mean, she could have easily said, you know, I'm just not producing enough milk.
Right.
The baby's being bottle fed. Doesn't have to
There's-
come up with some.
There's some people are just shitty liars.
Yeah, and
know?
it sounds like she is, but she's lying for a reason. So just let her lie.
If that's even the case.
If that's even the case. And it could just be that she just enhances stories.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just enhancing how she chose, how the birthing went or whatever. The big picture is the fact that they have a child.
Right.
So are you going to experience this child's life with it, or are you going to die on this hill?
Exactly.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Those are your choices.
Yeah, I agree. Asshole.
Yeah, I definitely agree, asshole. Like, at this point, just leave it alone.
Stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah, enjoy the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's a new little baby in the family, and that's the important part.
100%.
But that is what is wrong with you. Because there was definitely some fucked up people in these stories, and I would love to just yell at them, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
So I hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things, and we will see you guys next week.
See you later.
Bye.